Welcome to this session. My name is Barbara Wochalia. Today we are going to look at money demand and money supply. So probably let us look at the historical background of how the need for money, the need for demand for money arose, right? So initially there was specialization and the barter trade system. And these people in the early civilizations were not really preoccupied with the thoughts of money, right? They were actually interested in survival. In a way, they were basically interested in looking for the basic needs of life, food, clothing, and shelter. But over time, people began to specialize. In other words, they began to specialize in the production of some goods. For example, if someone specialized in the making of maybe shoes, they would specialize in doing that. Someone specialized in the making of maybe crafts, which specifically specialized in that. But still, as time went on, the specialization now changed into something else. People now looked at the need to carry out barter trade. So after the specialization now, as time went on, people saw the need to carry out barter trade, which was basically exchange of goods for goods and services. Right? But now with the barter trade, it also had its own limitation. It had its own limitation where it became now bartering between different goods became complicated and cumbersome, and also in terms of calculating the value of each item, trade became difficult. And because of that, gave rise for the need for the need for formation of money, right? So because of the cumbersome barter trade, that gave rise for the need for formulation of money, right? So historically, commodities were traded for commodities, and this was basically the form of money, right? But from then on, the forms of money have been changing from commodities like cattle, food, to right now to things like credit cards, right? So now let us look at money. What is money? Money, we are going to define it in terms of its characteristics. And money is anything that is generally acceptable. It's generally accepted. That's one of the characteristics of money. It is generally accepted. Anything that is generally accepted. And then money is relatively scarce. It is not scarce, but it should be relatively scarce, right? This means that it should not be too scarce, but it should be relatively, means fairly scarce, right? Because later on we shall realize that this money should not be too much, and again it should not be too less. It should be at an equilibrium, right? Then money must be legal tender, right? For example, if we say that the money is legal tender in Uganda, the Ugandan shilling is legal tender, it means that it is acceptable in Uganda, but it may not be legal tender in another country, maybe Kenya, right? Then money must be portable. Good money must be portable, and the good money must be durable. It must be durable. Then the money must be feasible in smaller units. Should be feasible or divisible in smaller units. Just look at someone, for example, giving you, they are called, I don't know what they are called, but a big denomination. For example, a 50,000 note, and you need to buy something of just 1,000 shillings. That inconvenience that you get, so money must be feasible or divisible in small amounts. Then it should be homogeneous, right? Homogeneous means the same, right? If it is a 20,000 note, it should be the same all over, right? Then let us look at the kinds of money that are there, that are present. So this money can be, the money can be in the form of paper money. It can be in the form of coins and the other forms that we are going to look at later on. Right? So let us look at the types of money. We have paper money, which basically consists of currency notes that are printed and authenticated, right, by central banks in any country, right? And then, so what are some of the factors that led to the contribution to the arising of paper money? Paper money, right? Paper money, first of all, it was portable. Portable means it can be carried, right? It can be carried. It was portable of large sum. Paper money, for example, it's not heavy, isn't it? Compared to coins. People don't want coins because they are heavy. They are not portable. But paper money is portable. It can be carried. Then another factor that led to the arising or to the advent of the rising of paper money was that now initially, remember that commodity money was used precious, for example, precious metals like gold and silver were also used as money. But remember that gold and silver, they were used as the forms of money. But again, they are also commodities on themselves. So they were serving two roles. So the gold and the silver were now being used as the commodities. At the same time, they were working as money. So that one gave rise to the need for advent of paper money. And then also these precious metals like gold and silver, they lost value, they lost weight and value, and as they were depreciating, and this basement of coins, these gold and silver coins, then it led to the need for formation of paper money, right? And also the increasing use of these precious metals like gold and silver. They are used for making for example, you can use them to make other items. For example, golden cups, right? Silver cups, jewelry for women, right? So they were increasingly having other roles, the gold and the silver. So it gave need for the formation of paper money. So that was paper money. Then we have another form of money, which is the bank deposits, right? And these bank deposits, they include current account deposits and savings deposits, right? So let us look at the meaning of these ones. the current account the current account deposits, they're also referred to as demand deposits, and they are called demand deposits because they can be transferred and used as a medium of exchange in the form of a check, right? So for example, a check is a current account deposit or a demand deposit. So let us look at briefly the evolution of payment systems. We have seen that initially we had the commodity money, where the gold, precious metals like gold, silver, and other precious metals, precious stones were used as forms of money. Then we have what we call representative money, and the representative money is basically backed up by precious metals. It is money, but which is it is a paper money, but which is backed up by precious metals, right? And then we have fiat money. And all money in the world is fiat money, right? Fiat money. And then we have checks, right? I believe all of us know checks. There are also forms. It is a form of money. Then we have electronic payment, which we call EFT, right? Electronic fund transfers. And then we have also under electronic payment, you have EFT, and we have wire transfers. I guess you've heard about someone saying, I'm wiring money to this account and so on. Those are called wire transfers. Then we have e-money, for example, debit cards, that is e-money, right? For example, your ATM cards that you use to withdraw money from those ATM machines, that is e-money. Now let us look at the definitions of money, right? It is from the most liquid narrow to the least liquid, which is the broad money. So this money is it is characterized into what we call M note. M note is represents paper currency and coins. So if it is paper currency plus coins, that is M note. Then M1, you just continue adding. M1, it will be M note plus demand deposit and traveler's checks. So literally M1 is the same as M note here, which is paper money, paper currency plus coins plus demand deposits plus traveler's checks. So we have already seen that, for example, demand deposits, the checks are in under the category of demand deposits, and then we have travelers checks. Now, why are they called the travelers checks, right? So the travelers checks, they were kind of checks that you could buy in the past at the bank, and you would take them and travel with. You would travel with the travelers would travel with these checks. For example, if someone was moving from Uganda to Kenya, right? They would buy travelers checks. And these travelers checks, when you reach Kenya, you could exchange them into Kenyan money. So literally you would carry money, but in form of a check. But you could convert that money into another currency in that country where you are going. So that's why they were called travelers checks. Then we have another definition of money, which is the M2. M2 will be M1 plus savings account, right? So M1, now we know that M1 is M note plus demand deposit plus travelers checks. So we know now that M2 is the whole of M1, which is the M note. And of course, M note is the paper currency plus coins plus demand deposit plus travelers checks, and now plus savings account. We just keep on adding. Now, a savings account is that account that actually allows you to deposit money and keep it safe and withdraw funds, but it will be earning, the savings account, you are supposed to be earning interest on your money for a savings account. Are we getting that? All right. And then M3 is, M2 will be M2 plus Forex accounts. course, you have seen that M2 is the whole of M1 plus savings account, and now plus Forex accounts. Now, what is a Forex account? Yeah, so a Forex account will be a type of that account that holds deposit in more than one currency. So you've had someone having a dollar account, so it will be an account you have in a bank, but you can deposit different types of currencies: dollars, pounds, shillings, and so on. That is called a Forex account. So you can deposit different types of currencies on that account. So it will be called a Forex account. So let us look at the functions of money. Money is used as a medium of exchange, a medium of exchange. In other words, you exchange goods and services, right? A medium of exchange. These transactions that we make, you go pay money and they give you goods, right? And services. That is what we call a medium of exchange, right? So money also is used as a measure of value, a measure of value. In most cases, value for any good, for any commodity is in terms of money. Someone will know how valuable a commodity is depending on the price, on the amount of money that commodity buys, right? For example, if a commodity is buying 1 million, someone will value it. Are we together? So that's what we mean by a measure of value. Money is used as a store of value. Store of value is, for example, if you have a perishable good, maybe tomatoes, right? And you want to have tomatoes maybe in the next 1 month. So instead of keeping these tomatoes for the next 1 month, of course, they will be rotten. You can sell these tomatoes, get the money, keep the money, and after 1 month, you just use that money to buy the tomatoes again. So that's what we mean by a store of value. Money can be used as a standard for deferred payment. Now, what we mean by a standard for deferred payment, it means that with the money, people are able to borrow. People are able to borrow money. If you don't have money, you can be able to borrow from another person. That's why that's what we mean by money being a standard for deferred payment. Then money acts as a lubricant in the price mechanism. It acts as a lubricant in the price mechanism. In other words, it is used in the determination of prices. Of course, when you talk about prices, the prices are in terms of money. When you talk about prices, that is money, a money tag. Price tag is money attached on a commodity, right? Then money creates friendship and harmony between buyers and sellers, right? So this money, you can find that money does a lot of things. You find that I won't give politics examples, but in most cases, people reconcile with money. You find that because they've been having a disagreement, but someone says, I'm going to pay you this much, and it brings about harmony. It reconciles people, right, who have been having conflicts, right? So let us look at money demand. Remember, our topic is money demand and money supply. So having looked at a historical background about the evolution of money and the uses of money, and the definitions of money, we are now looking at money demand, right? Money demand. All right. So with money demand, let us look at, first of all, what we call the quantity theory of money. The quantity theory of money that was developed by Professor Irving Fisher. So the quantity, according to Fisher, Irving Fisher, the quantity theory of money states that MV is equal to PT. The quantity theory of money states that MV is equal to PT. MV is equal to PT, right? So what is MV? MV is the quantity of money in circulation, or the money supply. MV is the quantity of money in circulation, or the money supply. The V is the velocity of circulation of money. Velocity of circulation of money. P is the price of goods and services. P is the price of goods and services. And then T is the number of transactions that take place, the number of transactions that take place, right? So that is the quantity theory of money. In other books, they will tell you that the quantity theory of money is MV is equal to PQ, but it is all the same. It is all the same, right? But if for this class, let us take that formula that says that MV is equal to PT according to Irving Fisher. So let us look at the criticisms of the quantity theory of money. Now, according to this quantity theory of money, according to this quantity theory of money, it shows a positive relationship between P and M. It shows a positive relationship between P and M, meaning that as the price increases, as the money supply increases, even the prices will increase. As the money supply increases, even the money supply will increase. So let's look at the criticisms of the quantity theory of money. Number one is that it doesn't. Yes, Jonah.
Now, I wanted to ask, supposing there are challenges like inflation, what happens to the theory? Because it is just only looking at the positive way that whenever money supply increases, even the purchasing power and the price levels of commodities in the market increases. So what if there is maybe inflation or deflation in the economy? Will still the theory be applicable?
That question is not clear, because the theory says that there is a positive relationship between price and the money supply, meaning that when money supply increases, their prices increase. So literally meaning that when there is increase in money supply, there is increase in prices, and that persistent increase in the prices is the inflation. So it just explains what leads to inflation. So according to the quantity theory of money, for it, the major cause of inflation is increase in money supply. It just shows what increases, what leads, for example, to inflation, or what leads to the increase in the prices. According to it, the increase in money supply leads to increase in the prices or inflation. It just shows you what causes inflation, for example. And according to it, increase in money supply will lead to increase in the prices, and the persistent increase in the prices, the general price level, is the inflation. Just that. It doesn't show any solution. I don't know if my answer is clear.
So similarly,
Although we shall later on see what happens, what should be done when there is inflation.
So similarly, even when there's deflation, it is the vice versa.
Exactly. Because a positive relationship means that if we have two variables, money supply and the price, a positive relationship means that if money supply is increasing, price will increase.
Also increases.
And as well as if money supply reduces, price will reduce, which is the
variables are
of course now the increases will be the inflation, the decreases will be the deflation.
Okay. All right.
So we're looking at the criticisms of the theory, and we've seen that it does not explain how the change in money changes the price. It does not explain how the change in the money supply changes the price. But of course, at the end of the day, as we continue looking at, maybe looking at maybe when we come to inflation and money supply, we shall see the logic behind increase in money supply, increasing price levels. We shall see the logic. Of course, the quantitative theory of money did not go in details of explaining, but at the end of the day, we shall see as we study, we shall later on, especially when we come to inflation, we shall see the logic behind why money supply leads to increase in prices. There is a detailed explanation there that the quantitative theory of money did not really fully explain, but the logic is it is what happens actually in real sense. We shall get to the detailed explanations later on. The theory is static in nature. Static means it does not consider change, right? In other words, actually, I think maybe that's how your question comes in, eh? Because for it does not consider for changes, because the changes, of course, being static in nature means that, for example, if you have inflation, measures can be taken to control that inflation, right? So I think that's where your question was coming in, that this theory is not maybe providing for what? For solutions. Yeah. Yes. So of course, as we come in later, we shall see the solutions to solving, for example, the inflation, or the solutions of regulating money supply. Then the price P is regarded to be the only passive factor, which is unrealistic because it does not affect output. So practically here, the theory is only looking at P and the M, but rather it is not looking at other. It's not looking at other variables in the formula. Of course, we saw the formula is MV is equal to PT. It's not looking at the velocity of circulation of money. It's not looking at the number of transactions. Then that not only does M determine P, but also P determines M. In other words, there is what we would call a Granger causality. What I would call a Granger causality, because this theory only says that it is increase in money supply, which leads to increase in prices, which is true. But also the reverse can be true, where the prices, where the increase in prices also increase money supply, where the increase in prices also increase money supply, because with the increase in prices, we have inflation, right? Persistent increase in prices, we have inflation, and inflation will lead to increase in aggregate demand for goods and services, which will literally also continue to increase money supply. So the theory only looks at M determining P, and yet also P can determine M. It did not consider that element where the price can determine the money supply. So let's stop here for this session. Until next time.